fucking back! It's been so gosh darn long. It's been 6 whole days. Oh my gosh. I have missed Umineko so dearly. But I watched the Game Awards Thursday night last week. And then on Monday, I was really tired and I slept 11 hours. So, where we last left off, there was like some shit with, and I just kind of had to thumb through my VOD because it's been forever, Jesus. But there was like some Jessica canon scenes, and I'm still working on the whole Jessica as Beatrice thing because I still think it fits. I haven't reread anything. Even. I've put no effort into figuring out Umineko at all the past, like, 6 days. So I'm really excited to see and kind of find out where things keep going. But I feel like I'm a far, far away still when it comes to like figuring out who Beatrice is. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. I got my water. I've taken my meds. I'm ready. My lips have been so fucking chapped recently, though. It's just weather. It's been awful. I have a whole tube of chapstick. It's in my coat. Let me grab my coat right now. It's in my breast pocket of my coat. There it is. Wonderful. I have a little bit of chapstick. Because my lips have been failing me. And I suspect, given that I have a lot of reading to do tonight, that my lips will be chapped very quickly. So I don't know. I'm not really. There's not too much to really talk about since I'm so out of Umineko. Oh wait, in other good news, I have game capture working again. I think it's. I think there was a Streamlabs update that broke it. I don't know. I don't really think too hard about this shit. I probably shouldn't even use Streamlabs, but for me, it's just simpler. I don't know. I tried somebody. I plus I feel like wait. I forgot. I have a free trial of Streamlabs Ultra. I don't really know what it would do for me, but I'm looking at. I have never plugged this code in yet, but I might as well do it if I have the code. So maybe next stream, if there's like a little bit of special, ooh shit, cool. It's because I have Streamlabs Ultra. Because I forget where I got this from. I'm not sure if it came with my microphone that I bought back in August. Jesus, or if it was something I got at some other point. But oh well. Let's kick ass. Let's take names. Let's read some Kumasawa. I'm really fucking excited. Come on, it's okay now. Let's hurry. Also, purple eyes really fuck with me this game. I hope father likes sweet foods. I had to like remember voices too. It's been too long. Oh yes, he does like them. In fact, he seems to enjoy eating pretty much anything. Ho 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 ho. After waiting for the master of the room, oh, it's a fucking Beatrice Battler scene. Oh, break my heart. After waiting for the master of the room to be out, Beato and Kumasawa entered the study. Then they quickly cleaned up the books on the desk, set down the basket they had brought there, and opened it up. Inside were several cute cookies cut out in a butterfly shape. Ugh. Oh wait, also one more thing. I did notice I got a follower the other day, 5 days ago. Jesus. Shout out to Yuiop1000. Thank you. Much appreciated. If they come in and say hi, that'll be cool. Inside were several cookies cut out in a butterfly shape. They sat out on a pretty plate and neatly arranged the cookies on it. It was the kind of subtle, conscientious touch that the recipient wasn't likely to even notice. The whole arrangement was filled with that sort of feeling. I see you spare no efforts for the sake of your beloved father. This is the most I'm allowed to do right now. To think that I would give Battler cookies. Why should I, the ruler of the night, do so much for a guest who comes so rarely? Then the study doors swung violently open. It was Battler, with Genji by his side. Oh my god, I love his cape. I want a cape. Battler's eyes went wide for a second when he saw Beato there, but his expression quickly went blank again. What are you doing here? Father, please excuse me. I wonder if he can see the other Beatrice. Also, let me get my notes. I forgot to get my notes out. What is the last thing I put in my notes? Please excuse me. I didn't come here to get in the way of your important game. How were you able to get in here? Wasn't this room locked? My apologies. They wanted to surprise you with a gift, so I lent them a key. See, have a look. Beatrice-sama baked these cookies with all her soul, hoping that you would enjoy them. Kumasawa-san and Genji-san taught me how. I never knew that Genji-san was so good at baking cookies. Oh my gosh. That's kind of rib theory-y, because Ronove likes making cookies. Ho ho ho! He hasn't done it much of late, but long ago Genji-san cooked all sorts of things. He was especially good with sweets. Cookies? Yes. It's a gift for you, Father. I sincerely pray for your victory in this important match. Battler looked at the plate on the study desk that was piled up with beautiful cookies and the message card of encouragement lying next to it, and his face twisted with a complex expression, which might have been one of sadness and might have been one of hatred. Oh no, I don't like where Battler's going. Master? Genji urged him to consider saying some words of gratitude to Beato. Battler understood. Anyone would be pleased to receive an act of kindness like this. Even though he understood it logically, he couldn't help but give a small exasperated sigh. Thank you, I'm very grateful. However, I don't like sweets. Please take it away. Master! What the fuck, Battler? Battler, I hate you. Beatrice is real. Actually, fuck you. I'm so miffed at him right now. Don't make me say the same thing again. Clean it up and take it away. Master, couldn't you just try one bite? Beatrice-sama worked hard to make them for your sake. I appreciate the sentiment. I'm in the middle of a vital game right now. This is the final game, and it's vital for both me and Beato as well. But it's not the final game. There's at least two more games left. So please, don't mess with my heart any more than is necessary. That's just too sad for her. I'm glad that you're grateful for her feelings, but can't you show it by taking just one little bite? Father. Oh. Beato looked... I miss Beatrice. Beato looked at Battler sadly. Battler hung his head to avoid her gaze. The expression on his face caused Beato more pain than any he had shown her before. Kumasawa, please clean this up and take it away. No! Beatrice worked on those cookies. Fuck you! Master! Wait, I forgot to take my magnesium. I fucked up. I took my magnesium at the start of the morning. Wait, I'm running out of magnesium. Okay. I need to be a magnesium-based life form, and I just need more. Kumasawa clung to Battler, but he turned his back to her. My apologies. Let's clean this up, Kumasawa-san. I won't allow it. By making this gift, Beatrice-sama gave it her all to try and support you in the only way she could. To take it away without eating a bite yourself? How could you trifle with a woman so? Kumasawa. If you call yourself a man, you should at least take a bite when a woman makes you a handmade snack. If you truly intend to crush a woman's feelings like this, I, Kumasawa, will not back down even if it kills me. No, I won't. Kumasawa-san, you've done enough for me already. I won't allow it. Master, do you think they're poisoned or something? Yeah. If Beato ever came to give me cookies, of course I'd figure that she'd put some kind of crazy poison in them. And she's asking me if I think there's poison in these? Who would expect that cookies piled up in such a neat and cute way could possibly have something bizarre hidden inside them? And anyway, who could possibly imagine Beato making something like this? Because of that, Battler couldn't bear to look at Beato's innocent reaction, which was completely free from any malicious thoughts, like slipping poison into cookies. Just try the damn cookie, Battler. Fuck you. Beato quietly started to clean up. I'm so mad. Oh my fucking god, I want to string him up. I'm so fucking mad. Every now and then she sniffled. This is so wrong. What the fuck, Battler? Be fucking magnanimous. Fuck you. Kumasawa continued to glare at Battler. But she then gave a small sigh and helped Beato clean up. However, the hardness didn't disappear from her expression. Nor should it, quite frankly. My apologies, father. Please excuse me. Don't call me that. Don't call me father! Beato, never call me that again. Yes, as you wish. My apologies. That's actually going in the notes. Her name is Beato 2.0, by the way. Oh wait, I skipped that line. Hanging her head so low that her chin touched her chest, Beato hurried out of the study. After giving Battler a look, Kumasawa chased after her. I'm so pissed. Kumasawa threw the door open, a bit violently, and the footsteps of the pair rapidly disappeared off into the distance. I hope she calls her brother out for being a fucking asshole. I may be a little sister, but I'm not sure how I feel about that. If she were anyone other than Beato, you'd think of him as a true enemy of woman. Is that it? I don't have a clue why Oni-chan and Beato act so friendly together. Right now, I think Beato as our greatest enemy, the one we must defeat. Still, even so, as a woman, I can't say I like how Oni-chan's treating her. I don't either! I'm pissed! And yet, I can understand Battler's feelings a little, too. What a sad state of affairs. I still don't understand what kind of antagonism or correction there was between them. However, Oni-chan probably viewed Beato as a friendly rival, if not something more. Oni-chan's reason for defeating Beato isn't to destroy an enemy out of hatred. It feels like he wants to give a sincere answer to her questions. Yes, I can't deny the fact that their fight isn't based on hatred, but on a stronger emotion. And on top of that, Beato really is something. To remain so dedicated to Oni-chan after Chan all the more even after being treated so coldly. I agree with the other older sister, Beatrice. I can't understand why she's so dedicated to Oni-chan. Neither can I, quite frankly. And though it will only happen after changing over 1,000 years, that single factor that you don't understand will certainly be inherited by the golden witch Beatrice we know so well. Love, baby. Yeah, I understand that. Learning about this Beato will eventually teach us something about that Beato. And that may be able to explain the greatest piece in this crazy game, if not the game board itself. Such a mysterious witch. Though she said those words, Featherine wore a confident smile on her face. Her sarcastic confidence, as though she already knew the answer, was unchanged. Beatrice, I want to ask you something. Wow. Yes, what would you like to know, Angie-san? When Angie asked her a question, Beato had been reading a fragment book in the shadows of the library, jumped. Beato, who had been reading a fragment book in the shadows of the library, jumped. Why do you call Ushiramiya Battler father? Because he created the piece that I am. In that case, why are you so dedicated to Ushiramiya Battler? Is there some rule that pieces must obey the creator that makes them? There is no such rule. A piece is like a tool or perhaps a knife. When used skillfully by the game master, they can be quite useful. However, if you use them incorrectly, they can hurt you as well. Whether a tool is used as a tool or a weapon, that has nothing to do with the tool's own will. It is merely the result. In that case, why are you so dedicated to Oni-chan? It's almost as though that's your goal as a piece. Yes, that is the goal that gave birth to me. Beatrice is actually a yandere, not a tsundere. Did Oni-chan, the one who gave birth to you, give you that goal? That's not it. As the game master, Battler merely set a piece with that role on the game board. Also, the one who gave birth to this piece was the first game master and the one who created this game. Beatrice herself. Battler and Beatrice's child is a dumber Beatrice. Also, this is a confusing line because like it's like Battler was the impetus for Beatrice's creation, but like this Beatrice's creation, but it needs to like meld into like all the other different like ideas and concepts that there's like a huge Beatrice like 6-way Venn diagram that I'm fucking with right now. I don't know. It's complicated. This is getting confusing. I fucking know, right, Angie? In other words, you keep calling Oni-chan father, but he's not actually your father. You're just calling him that affectionately. Ew. Because you feel obligated to devote yourself to him. Yes, I think that's true. Father was the one who placed me on the game board. If he hadn't, my piece would never have had a turn. So the fact I exist here right now and am able to devote myself to my goal is all thanks to Father. I wonder if Battler created this Featherine character and this Angie just because he missed them. Or he missed seeing not Beatrice, seeing Angie in some form in the game. That's a good thought. I'm putting that in my notes. This character is now referred to as Miko Angie. To make her distinct from Angie Beatrice in just Angie. It's really freaking confusing, but that's here where we are at this point in the game. Am I ever gonna figure this shit out? Let me see. So that's why it makes sense for you to call him father. In that case, who told you to devote yourself to Oni-chan? It must have been the first game master, Beato herself. Ah, this is so confusing. You wish to ask her why she must devote herself to Ushir Mia Battler, correct? However, she cannot give you that answer. She was given nothing but the goal itself. Only the person who gave her that goal knows the reasons for which they did so. I see. Consider that as well, child of man, right? So that means you already have an idea and you're laughing at my confusion. You really are just perfect for my Miko. I will do anything for father. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the damsel in Slay the Princess, where she keeps getting more and more simple. This is what this reminds me of. That is my greatest pleasure. Pleasure. My bad. And at that point, Beato hesitated. And? And what? Yes. And if I could one day have father acknowledge my efforts, it would be my greatest joy. What? What the hell? If you wanted to devote yourself to him, I'd just say you're just another furniture of the witch. But you want him to acknowledge your efforts? That's just like furniture and more like... Angie stopped mid-sentence. And more like you're just a girl who loves Oni-chan. I don't get it. That driving force behind this Beato, is that of a girl who adores Oni-chan? But then, what does that make her? If the first Beato liked Oni-chan, then she should have adored him and devoted herself to him directly. Why would she create a piece of herself, a separate entity to do it? As it stands, even if she does attract Oni-chan's attention, it will be towards the piece version of herself, not the creator who made that piece. If I ever like someone, I'll probably want to do things for them. But of course, I'd want to do those things myself. After all, I want him to notice me. It's a love that will always go unrewarded, no matter how devoted she is. And she's doing this out of her own free will. Beato's actions look no different from those of an average girl in love, except for the fact that she calls him daddy. She's devotedly doing all she can for him, dreaming that her kindness will eventually be acknowledged. Why would Beato create a piece like this? Maybe putting it in romantic terms is a bit too confusing. Let's try using food as an example. This would be as pointless as creating a piece-to-eat food for you. No matter how much food your piece eats on your behalf, you won't get any less hungry, right? You're the one who wants to eat. There's no reason to have a piece do that in your place. For most jobs in this world, you can get someone else to do it for you. However, with love and food alone, there can never be any point to letting another person do it in your place. That's right. This Beato was created as a piece because of an impossible reason. Though, at a glance, she looks just like a normal girl. The more I know about her, the less I understand, like she's an imaginary number. This is such a 1 from 0 moment. Father hates it when I call him father. And the me that father desires didn't call him by that name either. Right. The former you spoke up to everyone without even using honorifics. Batla! I miss her. However, simply possessing that knowledge doesn't mean I can refer to father quite that informally. I'd like to give it my all and start by calling him Battler-san. I'm surprised you haven't gotten discouraged after being treated so coldly. No. Battler-san is in the middle of an important game right now. His opponent is the formidable Lady Erica, piece of the great Lady Burncastle. It's no surprise that he was in a bad mood when I stepped in at a delicate moment in his game, just as it was starting to reach a critical point, and called him by that name he doesn't want to hear. Apparently, Beato still wanted to devote herself to Battler, even after being treated in such a cold manner. Though to an outsider, it might just look as though she's being snubbed, it doesn't faze her at all. It truly is the blindness of a girl in love. Or is it that I can't see because I have no love? At times, love does let you see the unseeable. Beato once again immersed herself in the fragment book that the former Beato had written. She was trying to find something about Beato that Battler desired. Angie shrugged, as though saying, well, I don't get it. Featherine laughed when she saw this, hinting that an innocent young woman could never understand. Angie grumbled something back unhappily. The exchange seemed to have had no effect whatsoever on Beato as she sat in the shadows of the library. Boo! Boo, Kate Battler! Be nice to Beato! Boo! After chasing all the others out, only Battler remained in the study. There was no color in this dimly lit room. However, for just a short time, the plate of cookies had been placed there. Ugh. The room had at least the room had seemed at least a little cheery. Battler's gaze drifted over to the table, which no longer had anything on it. When he did, the cookie plate that had been there until a second ago was revived. However, it was an illusion. Though the cookies could be looked at, they could not be touched, much less eaten. If Battler wished, he could make it possible to touch them or eat them, but it would be an empty sensation. It would only give the touch and taste that Battler desired. He no longer had any way of knowing what kind of cookies they had been. You should have eaten the cookies, you stupid fucker! On the reception sofa across from Battler, a cloud of gold butterflies slowly gathered and took the form of the old Beato. Come on, have a bite. It's not every day I make these by hand. Have no fear, I'm confident in how well they've turned out. Hearing that from a lady makes them all the more dubious. Seriously? Any cookies you made would obviously have some kind of strange poison in them. How shocking that you should think so. Even if I did put something in it, it'd be no worse than the kind that does this and that to your other thing. What? Is this a sex joke? I don't fucking get it. Notice that Kumasawa and Ronave have been replaced by Virgilia, or Genji and Kumasawa have been replaced by Ronave and Virgilia, and how Beatrice is acting more normal again. It's like the whole idea of love being able to see. Oh my gosh. If you do that sort of thing all the time, Battler-kun will never agree to eat them. Huh? Putting things in someone's food is pretty basic, isn't it? Fingernails, bits of hair, magic charms, fragments of love. What would you people put in? Why is she doing the Marilyn Monroe? Yes, ma'am. I wouldn't put anything in them. I'd just eat them all myself, because I'm Beelzebub and I'm hungry. Obviously, do you have to be so predictable? Well, they say a girl's gotta grab by all 3 sacks. I don't want to know what the last one is. The first one's the stomach, right? Next comes the wallet, and what was the third one again? If I could catch a guy's attention, I'd want to make him sacrifice his body, heart, and soul to me. Which one's mammon again? Greed? Yeah. That's why I pour all my power and affection into my cooking. Hi, Belphegor. In any event, making someone eat your food is probably a frontal attack that's gone unchanged throughout the ages. Ridiculous. How pathetic to think that you couldn't grasp a single man's heart without relying on such simple tricks. Oh? Are you saying you've succeeded in grasping a man's heart, One-sama? Battler, there's nothing weird in it, so have a bite. Don't think you'll ever get a chance to eat my handmade cookies again. There probably won't be another chance. I slowly stretched my hand out to the illusion of the cookie plate and touched it. Just before I did, it became a cloud of gold butterflies and vanished into the darkness of the study. The illusions of Ronave and Virgilia also disappeared. However, the illusion of Beato alone still remained on the sofa. Is there something not to your liking? Are you trying to force me to say it out loud? The more new me differs from... The more the new me differs from the form you wished for, the more you've reminded that I can never be revived again. Correct. If you let a good woman get away, you never get a second chance. So, only now you finally realized what a good woman I was. Shut up. If you never appear again, that'd be a relief. Ooh, we got a reprise on a classic Umineko song. Okay. Beato lay sprawled on the sofa and looked up at the ceiling. Battler also turned his back and moved to the window. For a while, there was silence. I imagine you understand, but I do understand. The me you were expecting has already disappeared. I know. Even though that Beato is you without a doubt, she's a different being than the old you. I can say with certainty that you'll never revive again. My soul, femininity, sparkling personality, and splendid character were cultivated over 1,000 years spent as a witch. Unless an exactly identical 1,000 years is traversed, nothing can become me. And so, at the moment you decided to create me, my personal history was different. Yeah. That damn burn castle is already guaranteed that you'll never revive. However, you still hope for it, don't you? Yes, Battler, that's magic! One day, the new me will trip and land on her head, and all her memories of the past will be restored. You were hoping for something like that, weren't you? A delusional plot like that wouldn't even pass in a light novel these days. Shut up. In the past, you waited and waited for me to remember and take notice. Then, what is it? Does this mean that our relationship is exactly the opposite of how it once was? Well, at times I did continue the game believing that you would eventually notice and remember, that a miracle would occur. How did it feel? How did it feel when you were playing with me? As they say, look inside your own heart. It's flip-flopped, because now Battler wants Beatrice to remember when it first started about being Beatrice about Battler remembering, so we've flip-flopped here. It's really interesting. Day and night, you know? Blue and gray, you know? Duality, you know? It hurts. If only she didn't look so much like you, I would have felt like my cool a little better. Well, do as you wish. In the past, I toyed with you and tormented you. Now's your chance for revenge against me. The new me will just wander about nervously, ignorant of everything. You may boil or burn her as you see fit. Perhaps doing so will ease your old hatred. I would if it was you. It'd probably make me feel a lot better. But that Beato isn't you. If it isn't me, then who is it? It's someone very much like you, but not you. But even so, she most certainly is me. True, she is you. And at the same time, she's a different person. In that case, the new me really has it rough. She's being treated like a plaything in my place. How truly pitiable. That might be the contradiction inside me. The new Beato seems like a different person, so I can't accept her. Even though I know she's a different person, she keeps reminding me of Beato's face. I'm fidgeting with a pen, or a pencil. In that case, why not think of her as my daughter? Your daughter? Battler and Beatrice's child is just another Beatrice. Fuck, the same thing happened to Kinzo. Kinzo did the same fucking thing. That's the second Beatrice. There was a... Ooh, yep. 100%. I'm guaranteeing it. The second Beatrice was Kinzo's daughter. I mean, there was a lot of evidence for it already, but still. She does share my blood, so consider her a daughter that closely resembles me. After all, she is my double, but hasn't lived 1,000 years, so calling her that is not incongruous. Incongruous? I hate that word. True, but she calls me father, so that kind of makes... Imagine that I have died, left behind a daughter, and entrusted her to you. Won't it become a little easier to deal with her that way? That's actually a good analogy. It's unlike you. Oh, I want Beatrice to revive so fucking bad now. Just for a little bit. Give these two a moment. Do not jest. That is my daughter. She is the child I left behind after my death. You are free to press my likeness upon her. You may also let loose your pent-up resentment on her in my place. Making her bear my sins and torturing her as you please may calm your grudge. If that doesn't match your taste, you can also guide her down the right path so that she does not end up on the inhumane road that I have tread. She was made to devote herself to you since the moment of her birth. If you wish, you can mold her into any shape you desire. After 1,000 years of miracles, she might even become me. So I could even strip her naked and drag her around with a chain like you did to me once? Yes, at this point, even greater humiliation would be possible. Battler, stop making me click through fucking ellipses. So, she is your double and your daughter. Yes, she's exactly the same person, the same piece, which was created once more by the rule called Beatrice. However, when I'm unable to accept it that way, I can think of her as Beato's daughter, finding a clear guidepost for how to interact with her and smooth the uncertainty in my heart. Finally, I understand how cruel I was to her then. My tears poured to the ground. When I followed them with my eyes, I noticed that a white business card had fallen onto the floor. What? It was the message card that had adorned those cookies. I rushed her, telling her to clean up and leave right away, which was probably why it had fallen to the floor unnoticed. I picked it up and read the message on it. It was extremely short, pure, and sincere. It's so clear that I should be able to read it. However, it's blurred with tears and I can't see anything. Oh, Battler. Where are we now? Where's this? The flood of light and sound slowly dissipated. The silence that followed was not interrupted even by the sound of wind and rain outside that had once been present. Both Jessica and George timidly opened their eyes. What the fuck is going on? Where in the world is this? It was a strange room they had never seen before. It looked like a Western-style smoking room. Oh, fuck. Where is the smoking room at? The smoking gun. Its furnishings were stylish and expensive. It felt like the room of some dignified person. There was a set of black tea on the table, as well as a chessboard, which seemed to be halfway through a game. Am I halfway through episode 6 now? However, there was something strangely out of place. The black and white checkerboard pattern made it feel like chess, but it looked very similar, yet totally like Reading is hard, but it looked like a very similar yet totally different game that no one knew of. And similar to both how it looked, and similar to how it both looked like chess and not like chess. The furnishings of this room know the room itself. Though it seemed like a Western smoking room, it also felt like something completely different. Just where is this place? Jessica Chan and Cannon Kun. And Shannon? Where's Shannon? I'm right here, George Sama. I'm right here, Lady George Sama. We apologize for bringing you to a place like this. Uh-oh. What if neither of these two fuckers are real? No, that doesn't make sense. What is up with these two? What's up with his fucking socks? Nope, I'm not getting into Pier slop right now. It's not even fucking worth it. I'm not Pier slopping. This is too pivotal a moment to Pier slop. And I am here, milady. George Sama, we apologize for bringing you to a place like this. What on earth is going on? Just when Shannon took out something that looked like a butterfly wing, it started shining. The same thing happened to me. Cannon-kun took this golden butterfly brooch thing and started to sparkle and... Milady, George-san, first off, please allow us to apologize. And please, stay calm. Something strange is about to happen. That strange thing will probably test us. Test us? Do you mean that trial you were just talking about? That we had to overcome if we wanted to be together? Is that it? A trial? I haven't explained it to you yet, milady. My apologies. But please, if your words just a second ago were the truth, please lend me your strength. I will give it everything I've got, so please. I don't understand a thing that's been happening. Do you know something, George Nissan? A bit. I'm just as surprised as you by what's happening now. However, if they're saying that this is an unavoidable trial and that we're essential for it, I intend to take on whatever may come. A trial? Cannon-kun, the brooch? Yeah. The two of them brought the halves of the broken golden butterfly brooch. Broken golden butterfly brooch. Say that 5 times fast. Fuck me. Closer to each other. As they grew closer, the strength of their bright yellow radiance increased. Yeah. Jessica-chan, I want you to prepare your heart as well. I am already prepared. What do you mean? I don't have a clue. What the hell is going on? It's a trial. A test for a pair of those who love each other. Huh? George spoke these awkward-seeming words quickly and easily. It was such an embarrassing line that Jessica couldn't help turning red. But the expression on George's face, which was so serious that it was almost grim, forced her to tense up as well. Shannon and Cannon were just as serious. With a glow in their eyes, as though they were taking part in a sacred duel, the pair of them brought the 2 gold butterfly wings together. Then, the wings they held became a single brooch and regained their magical power. An even more intense light filled the room, and the scene was burnt into the retinas of all present. As the brooch shattered, and 2 shining things flew out of it. What is going on? Uh-oh. People live for the sake of love. Yes, this world is love itself. Oh, how great is the power of love. Love is everything there is. Oh, wait! It's these two from the beginning of the chapter. Okay, I didn't have a voice for them. Suddenly, the voices of two people they had never heard before rang out. What was it? Who were they? Yeah, it's these two, and he was right. George and Jessica nervously opened their eyes. When they did, they saw that two demons had appeared there, almost as though the two halves of the brooch had become them. Hey, that's weird, Furfur. What are we doing in a place like this? It really is strange, Zepar. What are these names? I'm gonna Google it and hope it's not Umineko related. Zepar. Demon. This is an Ars Goetia demon, Zepar. Is a great Duke of Hell. He commands 26 legions of inferior spirits. His office is to cause women to love men and bring them together. He makes women barren. He is depicted with red clothes and armor like a soldier. And what about Furfur? Also, Furtur is a powerful great Earl of Hell, being the ruler of 26 legions of demons. He is a liar unless compelled to enter a magic triangle where he gives true answers to every question. Speaking with a rough voice, Furfur causes love between a man and woman, creates storms, tempests, thunder, lightning, and blasts, and teaches on secret and divine things. He is depicted as a hart or winged hart, and also as an angel. Furfur, or Furfures, in Latin means bram. However, it seems more likely that the name is a corruption of Furcifer, the Latin word for scoundrel. Slightly less likely considering the context, but still possible, is that the name is originated from fur, Latin for thief. Okay. So I need to figure out which one's which, and Furfur is a liar, and Zepar is about, I guess, love. But like fucked up love. Where's the witch capable of summoning us? Yes, we remember the name of the witch of the contract really well, don't we? Let's try calling it out, Furfur. Yes, you're right, Zepar. We know the name of the witch on the contract, the Golden Witch. Then let's try calling her. Beatrice! Considering that their exaggerated theatrical manner and their slightly comical style of talking, it'd probably be hard to comprehend their great power at this point. When the two demons called Beatrice's name, a cyclone of gold butterflies picked up throughout the room. Then it took the form of two golden witches. Oh, there are two Beatrices. Well, there are two of us as well. Why shouldn't there be two Beatrices every now and then? Where's Shannon and Cannon? This is my double and little sister, and my little sister. We two are the same as a single person. But pleased to meet you. It has been a long time, Beatrice-sama. Am I dreaming? I feel the same. Jessica's Beatrice theory is in a rough spot, but so is Shannon's Beatrice theory is in a rough spot. By the same logic. Still, it's too early to get dumbfounded. Unlike Jessica, George had maintained his composure even during this bizarre scene. After all, Shannon had already told him what would happen next. Demons of a contract, it has been too long. Zepar, and you too, Furfur. One of the great 72 demons controls love and tests others through trials. Zepar bestows an ultimate defensive barrier of immortality upon the maker of the contract. Is of a different gender than Furfur? Hold up. That one's gotta be the girl. Giving them enough courage to unflinchingly face wounds love might cause. What? Which one is tucking? Tame boys. Bestows endless, inexhaustible offensive power upon the maker of the contract, giving them enough courage to fearlessly overcome any barriers to their love. A trainer of love who teaches tame boys the taste of flesh. So is of a different gender than Zepar. Okay, so one of them is tucking, and it's probably Furfur, because it mentioned they're a liar in their thing. We figured it out. Got it. Ah, long time no see. You seem to be in high spirits as always. But what a cute little sister you have. I'll bet those teary, juicy eyes taste like white peaches. Well, I wonder. Zepar and Furfur latched onto Beato from either side, wearing strange smiles. Each movement they made was exaggerated yet polished, as though they were acting out a play. Leave it at that for now, demons of the contract. To think that tonight will be the last time we see that mischievous spirit. You'll dearly be missed. The last time? The brooch, our vessel, has already been destroyed. In other words, our role is finished after this. Ah yes, it has been fun, Beatrice. However, it was decided when the contract was made. It was decided that we must lend our power one more time before our final farewell. So this is truly the final miracle. Once is enough for the miracle of love. After all, eternal love will never be needed a second time. There you have it. Lovers, those gathered here have been cursed to have an unfulfilled love unless a miracle occurs. Your last chance is the power of the golden butterfly brooch, which can grant such a miracle, and like it or not, this chance is limited to this evening. This miracle can be given only to a single pair. I won't lose. Yeah, let's both give it our all. Shannon and Cannon exchanged serious gazes. Both had already readied themselves to fight for the sake of their love. Why are we getting fishy aroma right now? I don't really get it, but I don't want to borrow the power of some strange demon. Jessica was finally starting to figure this place out. These demons were probably planning to pit her and Cannon against George and Shannon. Let me be clear, this is none of your business. Cannon and I can handle our relationship by ourselves. I shouldn't have to put myself in debt of some bizarre demons. Milady, please listen. If we don't overcome this trial, we cannot be together. Why not? Jessica, accept it. This is the only trial that could possibly be imposed on upstart furniture wishing to be joined with a human. More of this stuff about furniture and humans. Don't butt in. This has nothing to do with us. You still haven't told Milady? I didn't know how I should explain it. Canon-kun, Shannon, and you, George Nissan, why are you listening to these creeps? No one can stand in the way of a person's love. Why do we have to please these demons? It's none of their business. Well, it seems we have quite a troublesome blockhead among us. We could begin the game like this, but that would hardly be fair. Couldn't you explain it for her? I don't understand it that well myself. Is there some kind of problem with the love between Jessica-san and Canon-san? Oh my. It seems that you and the others understand nothing at all. With our blessing, the pair can cultivate their love at their leisure. No need to worry about suspicious demons. However, without our blessing, your love will vanish, disappear, wither, and decay. How the hell are you so sure? Because that is fate. You are free to choose not to accept it, free to choose not to resist it. Oh, but what happens if you choose not to resist it? That love will end. But perhaps an abstract explanation isn't so convincing. Well now, how could one explain the dead-end fate you're in? Ushirimiya Jessica. A future shared between the two of you would be far more grim than you realize. If you don't gain the miracle of magic, disaster will most certainly befall you. Then it will cover you, fester within, and split the two of you apart. Even I will not be so boorish as to describe the details of that process. However, if you don't believe Jessica, I will tell you how it ends. Canon will stop being a servant and will leave the island for all eternity. You will probably leave the island yourself in search of the one you love, but such a venture will doubtless be in vain. Yes, and then you will mourn and hate. Hate who? You. Me? No, the you of this moment. What the fuck? Okay. With a dramatic gesture, the two of them pointed at Jessica. They were saying that if she left, the person left with regrets would be Jessica herself. What the hell are you saying? When you've lost the one you love, you'll realize how much you hate the person you were when you ran away from the trial to complete that love. Yes, we're messengers from the you of the future. Please, at this very moment, take your love seriously and fight. And if you don't listen to the message of the you from the future, the foolish snake eating its own tail will keep on gulping. Oh, and that's like the theme of Infinity and shit. Oh, that's really fucking with me. We need to bring the Infinity theme back 100%. The endless cycle of suffering will swallow you up, and then you will simply vanish. What the hell are you talking about? Jessica's confusion showed on her face as anger. However, a memory of something she'd heard a long time ago welled up in the back of her mind. Like 6 years ago? Unlike Nason, I don't plan on working here for many years. After just a few years, or possibly If Nason ever decides to stop working here, I'll stop working too. Canon-kun, if you give up on the miracle of magic and hand it over to Shannon and George, they will be joined and will leave the island. Following that, Cannon will leave the island as well. That is fate, and unavoidable. Then what if they can obtain the miracle of magic? Of course, Cannon will remain on the island by Jessica's side for all time. He will probably start learning music with Jessica as she desires. How their relationship will progress afterwards is a matter for the two lovers. They can deepen their relationship slowly, all by themselves, as Jessica wanted. However, if that happens, George-san and I will not be joined. Fate demands that we fight, putting our happiness and our futures on the line. Are you kidding me? What the hell? So if we are joined, the other pair will split apart. What kind of demon's game is this? Don't be mistaken. You will not be taking something from each other. Without the power of the golden butterfly brooch, neither love is fated to bear fruit. And who the hell decided that? It is due to your sin of falling in love with furniture, which is not allowed to love. Didn't Cannon clearly reject you, saying that furniture was not qualified to love? Knowing that, you chose Cannon as the one you loved. I won't let you get in the way of saying you didn't know. Why is Battler showing this to us? Though she couldn't accept any of it, Jessica was unable to argue back. Then George spoke up with that soft tone that he had always used to smooth things over. However, his expression was still ruthlessly serious. Jessica-chan, can't you think of it this way? Think of it what way? I love Shannon. I am prepared to overcome any and all trials and obstacles that stand in the way of us being together. What about you? Well, I'm not so weak that I'd lose heart that easily. Yes, that's it exactly. At this moment, we are being tested. Tested to see who can display the strength of our feelings more strongly. Are you saying that you actually support this crazy plan of theirs? It doesn't matter whether I support it or not. When I gave Shannon that engagement ring, I swore to fight all trials and barriers that stand in my way. No matter how unreasonable or incomprehensible these trials might be, I cannot choose to avoid them. George spoke clearly and looked at Jessica with a cold gaze. By now, Jessica almost understood. If she kept on grumbling and avoiding this demon's trial, the game between the two groups would automatically end with her defeat by default. In other words, George and Shannon would win. Then they would gain the miracle of magic, their love would be completed, and Jessica and Cannon would split apart. With Cannon eventually leaving the island and never seeing her again. Nothing would make me happier than to see you step out of this trial. That way I wouldn't have to fight you. And that would show the limits of your feelings for Cannon-kun. What do you... Fuck you, George. I hope you lose. It seemed as though George spoke ruthlessly, but he was actually being exceptionally fair. If Jessica lost by default, she would never be able to clear away her lingering regrets. That would leave a bad aftertaste for George as well. What are they playing at here? What is Battler playing at? We must fight openly for that single miracle. Even if I lose at the end, I'll be able to accept if we both gave it our all. And because of that, I will be able to cheer on these victors from the balcony. What the fuck? Where'd I get that word from? From the bottom of my heart. George's determination is quite impressive. After hearing that, are you still going to run away? The two demons giggled and challenged her. Of course, George didn't laugh, but he still challenged her with cold eyes. I'm only an hour into this fucking stream. Holy shit. Okay. And Shannon? Please forgive me, milady. I'm determined not to flinch in my resolve. Even if I know, sticking to my feelings means ending your loving relationship, milady. Shannon had never before spoken to Jessica with such serious and solemn words. Jessica realized what a strong will had dwelt within her usually weak and clumsy friend and was surprised. Cannon-kun, I want to start a new life with you, milady. Even if that life means crushing Nason's happiness, I will not falter. Cannon was also doing all he could to restrain himself. Yes, all of them were being serious and frank, and abandoning any naivete they might have possessed. All this about golden butterfly brooches and miracles of magic and the trial that the demons were giving them, none of it mattered. Only one thing was being tested: whether or not they possessed the strong will to make their love come true. Jessica clenched her fists and hung her head, shaking while biting her lower lip. She was silent, but she would probably gain an unswerving will of steel before too long. She just needed a little time first. The two demons who taunted people with dramatic gestures did not violate this silence that Jessica needed to resolve herself. Oh, sleepy as hell. But I miss Umineko. And I gotta stretch. Good stretch. And crack my neck. Love brings about conflict, and this conflict gives rise to determination. As the demons of love, they could understand more fully than any others how noble that determination was. Jessica-san. Furthermore, this magical miracle is something that can be received by you as well. By me too? What do you mean? She had thought this had been about two pairs of lovers. Beato was surprised to suddenly hear that this had something to do with her as well. With the miracle of the golden butterfly brooch, even your wish that your affection for Battler will be acknowledged, can be granted easily. And without such a miracle, you too could never be bound to him. What the fuck? Okay. Taking notes because I think that's interesting. Man, my Jessica's Beatrice theory is looking a little grim. I'm holding out for a hero. It means you're no outsider to this either. To cut across the marshes of love. That is your wish, is it not? We will not make light of your wish. Even your relationship with Battler will eventually fester and rot. No matter how much of a positive outlook you take, you know that this fate will eventually come to pass, barring some kind of miracle. Well, Beato hung her head sadly. She hadn't wanted to lose heart from that cookie incident. However, it would have been a massive lie to say it hadn't hurt her. The more she tried to get close to Battler, the more she hurt him. That's love. That's love. However, she had been born in order to get close to Battler. She was like a hedgehog freezing in the cold and bunching together for warmth. Are we fucking making an Evangelion reference now? Oh no. She had approached him because of love and had been hurt for it. If you understand that much, entrusting your fate to a miracle may prove to be of some interest. Is this another reprise? Because this sounds very Umineko. As they say, an unbought lottery ticket earns you nothing. Zepar, Furfur, let my little sister join in too. Oh, of course. Welcome, second Beatrice. We were planning on including you from the very beginning. I miss Lambda. I want to do fucking Lambda. I really want to do a Lambda tonight. Please give me a little Lambda Delta, just a little bit. After all, we are Zepar and Furfur, the demons of love. Why do they always have a pause? May I join in as well? If you want to, I don't see a problem. I won't prevent anyone from entering. We'll win against all hindrances and make everyone celebrate our union. Of course, it's the same the other way around. If you succeed in love by defeating us at our best, then both Shannon and I promise to sincerely support the pair that wins. Right, Shannon? Yes, we will not lose. And even if we did, we would not cheer you on from the we would cheer you on from the bottom of our hearts. I feel the same. I will not lose. Well, if there's no way out of this fight, let's show them what we've got. No matter what. Canon-kun and I don't plan on losing. You feel the same, do you not? Yes. If there is even a small chance that Father, no, that Battler-san will acknowledge me, I'm willing to put myself on the line. Well said. Good going, little sister. Zepar, Furfur, the actors have gathered. The actors have gathered. Then let's begin, Furfur. Yes, let us begin, Zepar. Let us begin this trial of lovers, this fight over a single miracle of magic. This is why Beatrice did this shit. I swear to God. Erica had returned to the room that had been given to her, on the second floor of the guest house. The next room over was empty. It was very quiet there. Even pressing her ear against the wall wouldn't help her listen in on the voices in the cousin room. Who's in the cousin room right now? I forget. Is anybody in the cousin room? Even with hearing power boosted by the detective's authority, it would be be impossible to make out anything. This room was the farthest down the hall, a long way away from the cousin room. They gave her a different room? Ugh. Furudo, Erica, gross, icky, nasty, ew. Also, can I say that the whole thing with the three lovers is extremely fucking rib theory? Now that I think about it, that shit is extremely rib theory. Or RGB theory. I call it rib theory because I think it sounds funnier. For those who are unaware of my rib theory, I don't remember. It's in the description of one of my episodes. It says rib theory begins here, and I start out with like my notes. So that's my rib theory stream. And the last time my room was right next to theirs. I see. So he's placed my room farther away this time.
Such a modification to the initial arrangement is well covered by the authority given to the game master. It would seem to be quite a reasonable first move.
Well, it's better for me that way too. Like I want to hear those brats' squeaky voices as they play cards. This whole time, Erica had been facing the desk and working on something. She was preparing some of those packing tape seals from before. She had asked Kumasawa for the stickiest tape in the place. She drew a complicated signature that could not be counterfeited across it with permanent marker and began making notches across it. This way, if she ever wanted to prove that some opening had remained closed, she could stick this tape over it. I feel like, and there's definitely been talk of this before, I feel like Erica is like a criticism of, well, not only the mystery genre, but I feel like it was a criticism of people who played Umineko and only wanted to look at it through the myopic lens of mystery, in ignoring the whole greater thing, the first element, love. That's the greater, the most, you know, what is. I know George R. R. Martin loves this quote: "The human heart, there's nothing worth writing for except for the human heart in conflict with itself." Something like that. Like, that's who I think Erica is a criticism of. This has been such a fucking wild fucking game to stream. Also, like, kind of the first full game I've streamed from start to finish. Not fucking Kingdom Come. Creating a powerful seal equal in strength to the Red Truth. These menacing seals had cornered Natsui so thoroughly in the previous game. They gave her a tape. That's fucking crazy. She has an actual tape measure. Well, not measure. She's a tape. Great.
Is something wrong?
He got me. That Battler doesn't let anything get by him, does he? Erica grimaced and showed the piece of packing tape she had torn off to Glanor. At a glance, Glanor couldn't tell what had annoyed Erica. However, as she held it, she realized the difference right away.
This won't be any good.
Yep. It's barely sticky at all. This won't even reach. This won't even. This won't even. This won't reach even close to the Red Truth. Even packing tape can be of low quality, and it sometimes gets weaker with age. The tape Kumasawa had found was a bit too weak even for normal use. It wasn't nearly sticky enough to be used as a detective seal.
It is possible to tear it off cleanly. This cannot count as proof of a seal.
I guess Battler isn't totally incompetent as I thought. He probably tampered with all the packing tape on the island using the authority of the Game Master. Letting Erica get her hands on the packing tape gave her a fatal weapon to use against witches. The previous game had proven this fact. And so Battler had removed that weapon from the entire mansion.
Most likely,
What?
most likely, all possible substitutes for packing tape have also been tampered with.
I feel like Kinzo's finally fucking dead. You know what I mean? I feel like Kinzo's fucking finally dead. Also, it's interesting that Zepar and Furfur don't have any line.
Probably.
Wait, probably. Well, it isn't so bad. At least this way I won't have to look like a fool crawling all over the outer wall in the cold rain. Erica tossed the packing tape aside carelessly and flopped spread-eagled onto the bed. Anyway, waiting calmly for the crime and smoking a pipe is also part of a detective's role. I doubt you'll have any role until the first twilight begins. So, why not vanish off somewhere and take a break? I imagine that just the sight of my face is tiresome for you.
I do not smoke. I am just a kid.
Oh, really? I wish I could. Well, only if it really is as refreshing as smokers claim.
It seems that you are not in high spirits.
Does it look that way? Erica answered lazily, still looking up at the ceiling. Hold up, I have to look up something. Okay, I had to look up what spread eagle meant. It's just like the Vitruvian man pose. That in itself was half an answer. The silence between the two was filled by the sound of the wind and rain. Oh, the wind and rain. It was so quiet. The sound of the ticking clock rang out clearly.
Lady Erica, may I ask a question?
Depends on what it is. Answer's probably no, though. Well, we're just killing time anyway. What is it? Maybe Erica was bored too. Or perhaps the sound of the rain was making her sentimental. She agreed to listen to Dlanor, which was very unlike her.
Why? Why do you hate magic?
Ah. You mean that thing downstairs of Maria?
It was merely a foolish trick to deceive children. Everyone knew that. Was it really necessary to go as far as to destroy that illusion? I cannot understand.
Erica didn't need Dlanor to tell her that she had been in a childish fight. Well, I am a self-proclaimed intellectual rapist. I can't stand having magic confuse the truth.
So you feel pleasure from exposing that? I sense a different emotion.
A different emotion? What's that?
To me, it feels less like pleasure and more like a different, negative emotion.
You really are a murder doll, aren't you? Even your eyes are like knotholes.
My apologies. Please forgive me.
Erica rolled over grumpily, turning her back to Dlanor. So Dlanor couldn't see her expression. Even so, for some reason she could guess that this completely unobserved expression was one of pain. Interpreting this to mean that Erica wanted her to go away, Dlanor gave a bow and made to leave. Then Erica suddenly spoke. The words seemed so utterly out of place that Lenore doubted her ears, and she had to ask Erica to say it again.
What did you say?
I love you. What? It really did seem utterly out of place. Yeah, it does. Glanor wanted to see what Erica really meant, but the latter still had her back turned, and her face was out of sight.
Thank you very much.
I was going out with someone else a while back, but we've completely broken up. The others might say things out of envy, but please ignore them. What is she on? I'm gonna devote my whole life to you, so I want you to do the same for me. Let's find happiness together. Glanor avoided asking what she was talking about and stood there in silence. For a while, Erica kept on dully and emotionlessly repeating soppy phrases that might have popped up in some shoujo manga. Then, unexpectedly, she once again followed up with a complete non sequitur. A new wallet.
What?
Of course, she had no idea what Erica was saying. However, with her back still to Glanor, Erica kept saying disconnected words. A strange cat keychain. A type of cologne that didn't suit him. A music tape that's not his style, which he said he borrowed from a senior at the theater. His senior was asking, so he had to go. He suddenly got a new part-time job. He said he was talking with a friend on the phone who just wouldn't hang up. Made too much curry. Went to theater practice more often. The way he folds paper towels. Thanks, I've already eaten. He knew more about cosmetics. Sorry, I was sleeping. The toilet seat was left down. He spent the night over at his stage friend's place. My acting friends had a party here earlier. This feels very personal. Someone must have left it behind. The drain and sink were cleaned out. Receipts and point cards from places he never goes. The muddy soles are evidence that you went out Sunday when it was raining. That matches the strange symbol in the calendar. None of your theater friends have hair this long. That's a leading question. How do you know the plot of a movie you haven't seen yet? Evidence. Circumstantial evidence. Observation, surveillance, tracking, tailing, information gathering, wiretapping, asking around, questioning. I found tons of evidence that I loved you. I found tons of evidence that you loved me. But I can't find any evidence that you haven't been cheating on me. Give it a rest. If you love me, then trust me. If you can't do that, then you don't love me anymore. How could I love someone like that? I'll treasure you for all my life, and I want to do well in theater just as much. You said you like seeing me act, right? So why are you telling me to stop acting now? Why do I have to choose between you and acting? What's wrong with you? I'm seriously worn out, okay? Come on. If all we do is fight when we see each other, maybe we both need to find some time. Maybe we both need some time to cool off, okay? I need to concentrate for my next performance anyway. This girl working with Senpai suddenly said she wouldn't be able to perform. I need to rewrite the script by tomorrow. I don't have time for this. And anyway, if you really find it that hard to trust me, we're through. Stay away. Just go home, bitch. I don't love you anymore. God damn it. It's disgusting. Just die. Stop shouting, damn it. You're annoying the neighborhood. Just get the hell away from me and never come back. Whatever, Erica. Erica deserves less than love. She only deserves hatred and avarice. Without love, it cannot be seen. That's backwards. Because of love, you end up seeing things that don't even exist. It's nothing more than an illusion, one that no one but you can see, and one that even you can never touch. Without love, humans would never need to sift through truth and lies. Because we can see things like that, we doubt. We suffer. We cry out loud. Right now, I'm happy. Though it may be temporary, I've become the Witch of Truth. As I am now, I no longer need to worry about being tormented by non-read words. What about you? How would you have countered my endgame?
How would I?
That useless man couldn't have played the part of my opponent in that game. I was wondering how you would have countered it. Glanor was suddenly thrust into the position of Erica's opponent. In the witch's game she had once challenged that man to. Glanor shared in the fragments of Erica's past and was made to grasp the full sensation. The board was reproduced in full inside their heads. The situation was one-sided. Erica's side had constructed a blue truth based on countless bits of circumstantial evidence and turned all of those into pieces and was already cornering the opponent. That is a very cornered and castled king. And also, this bishop's in a terrible position. I mean, I don't really know how to play chess. So I'm kind of like a total numbskull. But this bishop's pinned so bad, too. Like, even if they want to take the knight, then they have to lose their rook. And then they just lose their bishop, too. And they trade this rook for this rook. I don't know, I'm thinking too much about chess. Glanor thought in silence. Announced her by-the-book response.
First move. I demand that you provide evidence that I have been cheating.
Counter with the blue truth. I present 84 points of circumstantial and physical evidence.
Counter with the blue truth. I present 6 points of circumstantial and physical evidence that I still love you.
Good. Blue and blue cancel each other out, but the number of pieces used to construct each is overwhelmingly unbalanced. When both opponents meet with the blue truth, their decision is almost based on which side has more pieces of evidence, regardless of actual circumstances. This feels really fucking important. This is especially true in the human world. So by the standard rules, Erica would win. First point to me. Your next move? I will attempt to switch offense and defense.
I ask that you, Lady Erica, provide proof that you are not cheating.
Perpetual check. That's a forbidden move, since it would result in an endless repetition of the same question going both ways.
Then I frankly declare that, despite of a lack of proof, I still love Lady Erica even now.
It's not red truth, so it's invalid. Even if it was red, that'd be a stalemate. After all, I'd have no move to counter with. Dlanor remained silent for a while. Then she quietly responded to Erika's moves until they reached checkmate. A stalemate is a forbidden move in the game of witches, since it means the ruin of the game. However, in chess, it also represents a draw. Because of this, it's a splendid final move that a weaker player can pull off if they're unable to win outright. In this situation, Erika clearly has the advantage, so it was natural that Dlanor would seek a stalemate to obtain a tie. However, that would only be in the case of chess. In the game where witches fight over the truth, it's a forbidden move, so it was already checkmate from the very beginning. Dlanor had no way to turn the game around. However, regardless of what the real truth between the pair of them had been, this game would be. Any other moves? Oh, witch-hunting archbishop, protector of the truth.
No, I resign.
See, there you go. Erika had succeeded in crushing her opponent with the truth she espoused that her former boyfriend no longer loved her and was cheating on her. Her opponent had no... I can see why he would, to be honest, even though cheating is fucking horrible. She is objectively a weird, stalking, awful person. After all, humans are not allowed to. A splendid game, a splendid finish from a superior position. Regardless of the truth of her opponent, Erika could win a splendid victory. Dlanor could only respond with silence. And with that, Erika spoke no more. She was probably done talking and wanted Dlanor to leave. Dlanor understood this, but even so, before leaving, she wanted to tell Erika one thing.
A splendid game, Lady Erika.
It's only natural that the detective wins.
Even before you became Lady Berncastle's piece, you truly were a splendid wielder of the blue truth.
What do you mean before she became Lady Lana Delta's piece? Huh? Before she became Lady...
However, Lady Erika, humans are only allowed to use the blue truth. And the only thing that can counter blue truth is the red truth. And humans are not allowed to use the red truth. In that case, how should your opponent have shown his truth?
Who knows? Maybe he should have used that gold truth or whatever, which is supposed to be stronger than red at times.
You certainly were the victor of that game. However, allow me to say this as a protector of the truth.
What? I imagine it's something unpleasant, so say it and go away.
Yes. This game is your victory. However, you still have not denied the 6 points of blue truth evidence I used to claim that I still loved you. Even you are human.
6 points, 6 years, fuck me. That's a little conspiratorial, never mind. You cannot use red truth to deny those points. Later on, I used the detective's authority to have all 84 points transformed into red truth. By the power of my master. I am human, yet superior to humans. A detective and a witch. I am the Witch of Truth, Furudo Erika. I can't wait till she's cast into the pits of Tartarus. Any other questions? Parting remarks?
I have none. In that case, please excuse me. Blanor bowed and disappeared. After that, all that remained was a single witch of truth, laughing off a bitter past with an equally bitter smile. I'm so glad my game capture works again. I'm gonna go be right back. Give me like 2 or 3 minutes. Also, how's my water doing? Well, I just spilled some on my leg, so it's doing pretty good. But I will refill water too. So give me like 3 minutes. And boom. Wait, not my webcam. My webcam's not even hooked up. I haven't done a webcam stream since like February. Okay, be right back. There's no VODs of me on camera too. That's even great. We are back. We have more water. I am marvelously glad. Judging by the bedside clock, it was almost exactly midnight. Okay,
Guess I should get a little sleep. The curtain is finally opened on the second day, October 5th. I wonder if this round's murders are happening somewhere about now. I hope our victims leave us some interesting dying messages this time. Whatever, Erica, just shut the fuck up. Why didn't you discuss this with your mother? This is about the partner who's supposed to support you throughout the rest of your life. That's right. She's the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with. And that's why you need to choose very carefully, right? How can you be so rash? Ava and George could be seen beneath the eaves of the guest house. George had revealed his engagement with Shannon. Ava's anger had exploded almost instantly. This had been no more than George had expected, so he had responded with an ice-cold calm. Did you sleep with her? She told you she was pregnant to force you into marriage, didn't she? How rude. I'm a strong believer in preserving chastity before marriage. Then why an engagement? I asked her. She accepted, but more could be needed. No, that's all wrong. Marriage isn't as easy as it seems in manga or whatever you're thinking of. What about her parents, relationships between the two families? Are you some stray alley cat, or are you Ushiramiya George? How could you be so rash now when you might even be selected as grandfather's successor? Why didn't you consult me? I'm consulting you right now. No, I'm not consulting. I'm just reporting. I've never counted on being selected as grandfather's successor. In fact, I'd rather refuse if it did come to that. I wanted to build up my own country and castle from the empty wilds, just like father did. Now, listen here. Do you realize how hard your father has worked to get here? That's not something you could just duplicate just by imitating him. Do you understand how often he was saved by luck or coincidence before now? And he got through it because he had a wonderful life partner by his side, you. Sayo is the kind of person who will support me and make me be reborn as an even stronger man. You've praised me for becoming the adult I am, but that could never have happened without her. Even though she's still a child. Ava, just call her out for being a fucking child. It's not that hard. What? Are you listening, George? Just let your mother handle this for now. Cool your head and think very carefully. Shannon isn't the only person interested in you, right? Ayumi-san from that marriage meeting really took a liking to you. First, I've heard of it. I thought you knew. First, I've heard of it. I thought you knew. Her parents were also very impressed by you. If you really dreamed to build your own castle like your father, Ayumi-san is the one who'd really be able to help you out, right? Do you intend to betray her feelings? There's nothing to betray. There was never any special relationship between Ayumi-san and me. We just had a marriage meeting and our parents got all fired up afterwards. It made us go out together several times, but we never even looked at each other. Ayumi-san is a well-bred, modest woman, isn't she? She just couldn't look at you because you're a man and it would be embarrassing and ill-mannered. If you can't feel anything from her unless she looks at your eyes, then just tell her that. I'm sure she'll look at you in the future. You want me to marry Ayumi-san because it will benefit you. You aren't pushing that engagement for the sake of anyone but yourself. Did she just fucking whack him? George, how could you say that? Have I ever failed to think about what's best for you? I haven't, have I? What is a parent's job? It's to look after the long-term welfare of their children, right? We've been looking down upon your entire future from a great height. And from our vantage point, we can see that you're letting your momentary youthful emotions lead you down the wrong path. That's why I'm saying this, even though I know you'll hate me for it. If I didn't care for you, we wouldn't be having this fight. I just tell you to marry whatever strange girl you like and leave you be. You hear me, George? Leave this to your mother. There's no need for you to meet with Shannon-chan anymore. We'll take care of everything for you. Don't worry, we won't do anything bad to Shannon-chan. After all, it's thanks to her that you've grown so much. We won't forget that, so leave the rest to us. George. Sometime during Ava's rage, tears had started to drip from her eyes. Well, I know exactly when, because I saw it happen. As though those tears had caused him to hesitate, George turned his back and sagged his shoulders. Even George is a child of man, after all. Though he understands that marriage requires nothing more than the love of two people, he can't get over his desire for his parents' acceptance. He can't get over it? I don't know, he seems pretty over it to me. And so he is trapped between the tears of the mother who has always helped him and the fiancé he chose. Or is he? Okay. I think that's about enough. Huh? All my life, you've done a great job raising me, and I'm grateful for that. When I have children and become a parent, I'll become a parent like you. I'll be the kind of parent most worthy of respect in the entire world, one who can truly fight for his children's sake. George. With his back still towards her, George threw away his umbrella and slowly stepped out from beneath the eaves into the rain. Then he slowly turned around. George is looking absolutely thuggish with this fucking expression. I hate him. It was, without a doubt, the familiar face of Ava's beloved son. However, he was now his own man, self-controlled and independent enough that their blood connection might be forgotten. Mom, I think it's about time. I think it's about time you tell me how to make chicken tendies for myself. For what? So that you can cook them, so that you can eat them, so you can get your good boy points, huh, George? No. For what? I think it's about time you learn to let go of your son, Mother. I'm ready to get a job. Get a job? From now on, let's stop talking as mother and son. And instead, I am George. You are Ava. Let's forget that you're my parent and let our true intentions ring clear. The reason you want to choose the person I marry is for financial reasons, public appearances, and so that you can look good in continuing quarrel between you and your siblings. You have no other reason. You do well to just give up and admit it now. I'm about to share my point of view with you. I suggest you do the same. After all, you will lose. You Malphite looking ass. No traces of love or respect for his mother remained in George's eyes. There was only a frigid glare as he gazed ruthlessly down at the witch who was trying to bind his future. Calling Ava a witch again is fucking wild, but it also has a double entendre because we don't know if this is like a performative test made by Furfur and the other one, Zephyr. or rather Battler, or any layer of narrative shit going on right now. George. Pier is mega fucking confused in this episode. Why are you looking at your own mother like that? Because I'm not looking at my mother. All I see is a wall, a trial, that's standing in my way of the future I'm trying to grasp. You're only human. I know that you have dreams and ambitions and that you're still chasing after those, and I think that's a wonderful thing. We also know how hard it is for a person to chase their dreams without giving up. So I'll need to inherit your wonderful strength. I've learned a lot from my parents, my friends, and Sayo, and I've grown. And the last thing I've learned, acquired, and perfected is the real Ushiramiya George. Now I'll overcome the final barrier. You. Fucking God, George. Oh. What? Did he just, like, throw her? What? Ava had disappeared. The pouring rain landed evenly across the ground everywhere. No, it was blocked very slightly in one place. However, there was no one there. Standing on the ground isn't the only way to block the path of the rain. Then, could it be... Yo! It's fucking Ava, Beatrice! Let's go! Long time no see, old friend. I missed you, Ava Beatrice. I read you just like regular Beatrice. I'm kind of paranoid that some of these, there's some more secrets in these after I found that one at the end of episode 5. So I keep like clicking shit a lot and hoping that I'll like get another little... Also, why was Juza in this fucking episode? I don't really get it. Is he coming back, or did I just get to do one more Juza voice? Oh, the dog bark. I fucking forgot. Sure, it's good for people to let their... No, I give her a different voice. It's more like, good. It's good for people to let their true feelings show every once in a while. I'll speak my mind, too. So why don't you just lay it all out as well? What if the second Beatrice is actually just Ava? That would be fucking crazy. That's kind of a cool theory. So why don't you just lay it all out as well? In the rain-filled sky, with a moon that shouldn't have been visible behind her, was the golden witch of the future, who had finally obtained everything of the Ushiramiya family. Even the drastic change in his mother's appearance didn't faze George. On the contrary, he seemed to be moved by her boldness, because his mother had honestly and truly displayed her true nature. This way, I can confidently show her my true self. Is George gonna have like a magical transformation too? Here we go, mother. Here we go, Ava. And then he gets a cool dress. Ah, George, please. This is my first step towards escaping from your shackles. First step. With that first step, he felt something odd beneath his feet. He knew that this sticky situation, different from that of mud, represented his mother's arrogance trying to prevent him from making that first step. I used to read to you all the time when you were little, didn't I? Do you remember your favorite story, Journey to the West? I love Sun Wukong. That takes me back. Probably the first fantasy. Wait, rib theory! Rib theory! This is so fucking rib theory. This is so fucking rib theory, boys. Remember how I talked about mystery, romance, fantasy being like the whole thing about rib theory? This is some fucking absolute fucking rib theory shit. Oh, people who have been watching this for a while are probably a little proud. This is some good shit. Ooh, I've really bitten onto some absolute rib theory. That's probably the first fantasy I really loved. Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, wanted to become a god and was tested by Buddha. If you can jump free from the palm of my hand, I will acknowledge your wish. Then Sun Wukong managed to reach what he thought was the end of the world and found 5 pillars standing there, only to discover that they were the Buddha's fingers and that he still hadn't left the Buddha's hand. You're likening this to my first step, me declaring my intention to break free from you? Bleh. Your resistance, your conflict, your anguish and self-restraint, and everything else, all of it is a road I once traveled down. That first step of yours is so trivial that when compared to my life, it'd just get gobbled up. How long are you gonna look away? If only you just look. Your feet. At George's feet, on the pitch-black earth soaked by the pounding rain, was what appeared to be a slightly red sash that glowed ominously and blocked George's first step. It was deep, viscous, and it held George's foot in place. I love the word viscous. From Ava's perspective, as she gazed down from the sky, it looked like a vast red spider web that had radiated out with George at the center. Ooh, he stepped in the red web. That's right. This is me. This is me being tied down by countless studies and raised for the sake of your ambitions. No, that's not it. Let me put it so that you can understand. I'll show you. And then you'll realize the truth. The vast red spiderweb on the ground scooped up George as easily as scooping scum out of a pot. Ooh, I love that sentence. Then it lifted him into the air like a deer caught in a net and swung him about. Ooh, that's fucking great writing. Laughing insanely, Ava was as innocent and cruel as a grade schooler happily swinging about a bag filled with her gym clothes. Bleh, come on, try and remember, okay? What happened on Tuesdays? Anytime she does that face, I put in a bleh. I remember those piano lessons. I still cringe whenever I hear I Step on the Cat. You did violin in kindergarten. That's the sort of instrument you'd expect smart kids to play, right? But you didn't seem to have the talent, so we switched you over to piano. Of course they made him play piano. Then do you remember what you did on Wednesdays? I remember. That was the day I had cram school. Is that like Kumon? I think that is like Kumon. was so far away and a real pain to have to travel to. And Thursdays? That was the day for supplemental lessons. You were just terrible at subjects with memorization, weren't you? You could apply your knowledge, but were horrible at learning by rote. A classic, he can do if he tries, kid. It's done. Those are the most annoying words a kid can hear at parent-teacher. Yes! Wait, George, that was so me. I was that kid. I was the he can do if he tries. Fuck yeah, George. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That's a British aphorism, isn't it? It's actually American, you dumbass. Making you get and stay motivated was the hardest thing to do. George was bound hand and foot by the bright red spiderweb reduced to the witch's plaything. She innocently swung him around and smashed him about, all with an insane laugh. Again and again. Do you remember what you did on Fridays? That was when I did... community outreach. Of course. As far as after school lessons go, that one was pretty unique. A school you go to with your parents can be trying in more ways than one. Don't you buy your child a fishing rod, go fishing with him? You certainly like British education theory, don't you, Mother? In America, we have German education theory. Wah! That school was hard on us parents, too. But for you, it was the most effective one. The monthly fee was high, and it was a pain to have to spend Friday nights there every week. But it did more for you than anything else. When I realized kids don't grow unless their parents watch over them. If children are sprouts, the parents are the sun. No plants will bud and no flowers will bloom without the sun. She's a tiger mom. Holy shit. Still bound hand and foot, George was thrown, slammed, and smashed. He could do nothing. He was still like Sun Wukong, unable to leave the palm of his mother's hand. However, since he wouldn't surrender, he could still show resistance at any time. And what about Saturdays, huh? That's when the tutor came. He came to our house, which made it much easier, right? It was a pain to having to invite someone other than, it was a pain having to invite some other person in my own private room. He hated the smell of sweat left behind when he left so much that I can still remember it. That is so fucking so specific, George. Oh my goodness. You didn't like the way he stunk? He was a wonderful teacher who drilled a scholarly attitude into you. His monthly fees were on par with a lawyer's consultation fee, and it was well worth it. Then, on Sundays and Mondays that followed, I didn't have any extra school and could finally rest. How ironic. Have those extra classes from Tuesday until Saturday held me down all this time? I really am just like Sun Wukong. Yeah, if you're arrogant enough to think that you can escape from the palm of my hand, you'll be crushed by Buddha's 5 mountains. Sun Wukong, who wanted to become a god, was crushed by the 5 mountains of fire, water, wood, metal, and earth and sealed away. These are the 5 elements that are the days of the week. Tuesday through Saturday are named after in Japanese. Not only did George, who had admired Sun Wukong, recognize this greatest of ironies. Like, this is shit I just don't even know about. I know what Journey to the West is. But it's just like this is the stuff that like totally flies by me. Just like Sun Wukong, you need to reflect upon and be published for your arrogance. Published? Oh my fucking god, I'm blind as fuck. I read too fast. If you can show that you're willing to reform yourself, I'll release you. It's not being released, it's brainwashing. My voice kind of cracked there. It's awful. There's no need to think about anything. God, I missed Umineko so fucking much. Why not just leave everything to Mama? I'll decide everything for you. It's the best kind of life for you. I found the most intellectual woman in the world, willing to devote herself to you entirely. You know what's fucking crazy about that sentence? The way I read it like fucking Lambda Delta would. Why do I give every character that same fucking da? I read every character like that, kind of. I'll arrange for all your successes and even prepare the roads leading to them. And eventually, you will be chosen for the highest honor in the Ushiramiya family, the position of successor to the headship. Only then will you begin your true life. The first step? Don't make me laugh. You still haven't even been born yet. This isn't my web you're caught in. You're still inside my caring, nurturing womb. Okay, Beatrice. Ava. Oh my god. And that's why George goes for a 16-year-old. There's gonna be a fucking crazy-ass Jessica scene right after this. And then there's gonna be a probably absolutely bonkers fucking Beatrice scene that will make me like lose my mind and shit my pants. George was slammed against the ground over and over. It was it was a heartless atrocity, unlike anything one would expect a blood-related son to receive. However, in Ava's eyes, perhaps even this was a sign of love for her precious son. The human-shaped lump of flesh wrapped in the red bag was slammed over and over, then thrown high into the air, where it was caught in a massive spider web in the sky, still covered with fresh blood. While he hung there as though crucified, that's fucked up. George didn't even twitch. Even if he had some power to resist remaining to him, the red web pinning him there would have held even that in check. The rain, which had been falling non-stop since the beginning, quietly tormented and pitied George. Be sealed by the 5 mountains and cool your head. I'm not telling you to stop because I think Shannon Chen's a bad kid, okay? She's a great girl, the one who gave you the chance you needed to grow up. However, an ill-considered engagement is still a different matter entirely. The issue has nothing to do with some failing on her part. Understand that. Blame the problem, not the Pier. Right. That's another British saying. I really did raise you to be a smart kid. No, I am raising you. You're still inside me, right? You need to be nurtured a little longer. Okay then, that's enough punishment, so apologize to your mother. A spiderweb released George reluctantly. Then it threw him to the ground beneath the cloudy sky. Thank you, mother. Ellipses. It was all George could do to get up on his hands and knees. Though he wiped the mud away and stood his ground, he still couldn't raise his head. Everything you've done so far, you've done for me, haven't you? Thank you. Thanks for everything. That's right. You must hate me now. But one day you'll thank me. I'm sure you'll understand how much I loved you. Being bound by all those extra classes from Tuesday until Saturday, that's a sign of how hard you worked to raise me to be an excellent man. That's another British phrase. To cover a child in blessings is the greatest education of all. Thank you. In return, I'll give you a British saying. Okay, George, is this your moment where you say some cocky, stupid bullshit? What's that? Even if you strike all the trees in the forest once with an axe, you will not fell a single tree. And what does that mean? Yeah, I knew he'd be doing that fucking smirk. Maybe this one is clearer. To spend too much time in studies is sloth. Francis Bacon. Duh, bro. This is my epic Bacon moment. I can't believe I fucking said that. Okay, the man drenched in mud and blood straightened his crooked glasses. He's a millennial. Holy fuck. And slowly stood up. I think she just kicked the fuck out of him. That's my canon. She just kicked his ass. And slowly stood up. He was covered in filth. His appearance had a divine quality to it. Something that could only appear on a self-controlled man, not one who had merely been dozing in his mother's amniotic fluid. I'm so proud of myself the way he mentions fantasy and how good that fits with fucking rib theory. Oh, I'm so fucking happy. Big fucking win tonight for me. I cannot count the number of things I've learned from Sayo. She taught me courage and chivalry, how to be ambitious and witty and humorous and just a little stylish. Yeah, fucking right, George. It's ironic. Almost all of the things you say are so wonderful about me didn't come from you at all. George, are you still? Time to get back in Mother's womb. I'll nurture you in a sea of warmth once more. As Ava howled, a bright red spiderweb appeared at George's feet once more and tried to scoop him up into the air again. However, at that instant, a powerful magic circle could be seen in the area surrounding George for just a moment. Faster than he could be scooped up by the spiderweb, George jumped, and with a sharp kick of the heel and a magnificent forward flip, he cut the shackles of that spiderweb apart. What? The smooth movement proved that he had possessed the power to escape from those shackles all along. He had willingly allowed himself to be bound by that web. Everything I owe you for what you've done, I've paid back now with pain. Thanks to that, I think I'll finally be able to leave the nest for good. You really need these every now and then. Fights between parents and kids. George, why must you disobey me so completely and with a little girl like that? Fuck yeah, Ava Beatrice. Felt to ask this motherfucker for this shit. She's a fucking child, dog. It looks like you really do need to let go, Mother. Maybe it's about time. Time for what? It's about time. Time to start fighting back. I'm just gonna start. Okay, George's voice now for the rest of the fucking game is just gonna be super corny, cheesy. Yeah, it's gonna be this shit. George finally has a voice, and he just sounds like a total douche. The curtain of spiderwebs that Ava shot out in defense were all too slow. George weaved through them, and in one instant and the next, he was right before her eyes. Ah! Ah! This is so fucking goofy. I love it. Hi, Eric. Ava jumped out of the way of a kick that would have knocked her feet out from under her, then blocked the second half of George's double roundhouse with a high kick of her own. Yes, there's one thing I can thank you for teaching me. Oh, what day of the week was that? It's the martial arts training we focused on during long breaks from school. Yeah, they're just having a kung fu fight. I'm glad, George, to hear you're grateful for at least one thing. Your mother is happy. Yeah. Ava's swift feet flashed like lightning. Low, low, low. Mid-level attack. As George's hand fell forward, she caught it in both hands as though she was about to smash it against the ground. It was then met with Ava's knee as it rose like a bit of lightning from the earth. You should have learned Muay Thai, too. It would have been more fun to have learned it with you. You're right. I never had more fun than when I was learning martial arts with you. Then right now is when we get to have the most fun. Isn't it fun, George? Isn't it? Is it fun to play with your son like this, Mother? Yes, it is. You're my precious son, and I'll love you lots and lots inside my womb. I even love it when you kick in there. That's so fucking weird. I hate this. Understood. But this kick's coming from outside your belly. What the fuck? George's knee buried itself into Ava's abdomen. An instant before she felt the pain of that fierce attack, Ava watched her son's kick with a proud smile, and then vomited. Hello, Lambda Delta 34. You truly are a Pier favorite. Ah! You're getting on in years, Mother. Maybe it's about time you held back on wearing childish clothes like that. George! I think George does need to fucking go back inside his mother's womb. He's such a fucking man-child. I totally fucking hate him. I think Ava's fucking cooking. I don't think he deserves to marry Shannon, actually. I'm rooting for fucking Beatrice here. Yeah, fuck yeah, Ava's totally right. You're rooting for Cannon. Dude, like, Cannon deserves nice things. Ava looked up at George in twisted anguish. You could see how pathetic her face was by her reflection in his glasses. Both you and I need to leave our childhood days behind. Oh my god. So long, mother. No, I love this. I love you, George. I'm converted. What the fuck? It's so good. The fierce lightning and rain made time freeze. George's beautiful kick had stopped an inch from Ava's chest. However, power of the red magic circle surrounding George had already pierced Ava's body. Yeah, exactly. Because I just need to see her put George in his fucking place. Though he had stopped without hitting her, blood poured out of Ava's back. It says Ava because that's how you know it's actually this is all made up bullshit. No wound had been left on her chest, but her heart had been punched through. Ava slumped backwards and landed in a puddle with a splash. There were no convulsions. Her life had been ended without leaving her even an instant to writhe about in pain. I know you're somewhere over there, Gap. As he straightened his glasses, George spoke to the rose thicket behind him. There, a pitch-black hole opened in the air, and Gap jumped out. How impressive. Even considering that it was before her ascension, I can't believe you managed to defeat Ava Beatrice. I thought you'd be here. Thanks for not interfering. I'm glad we were able to keep it between mother and son. Yeah, we have met Zephyr and Furfur. We also saw, which was really what pissed me off at the very beginning of this stream, Beatrice made Battler these cookies, and he's like, get your cookies, and get the fuck out of here. And that pissed me the fuck off. I was fucking livid. I was absolutely fucking crashing out. I was like, Battler, how the fuck could you do this? Go rot in hell. I fucking hated him. I was pissed. Just eat the fucking cookie. I don't care if it's the mother... I don't care if it's my worst enemy. If they've made me some fucking cookies, I'm fucking eating them. She didn't fucking poison the cookies. She's literally like a cute, like doting in love with you girl. Just chill the fuck out, Battler. It's just cookies. But of course, I wasn't here. You summoned me just now. It doesn't matter either way. I have something to ask of you. Is there any reason I should listen? But you refuse to listen? Hold up. Let me see this.
Hashtag big.
They're fucking cookies!
That's so fucking good. I still have some of the cookies left from my last tea party, and I keep forgetting to eat them. They're like, I'm looking at them right now. Maybe after stream, that's what I fucking do, is I eat cookies. Okay, that's a plan. With his back still facing her, George reset his glasses. Many must do this. This is the part where I shout out, guys, only 16.2% of my audience is subscribed. You should totally subscribe. George reset his glasses. The threat in his voice held the solemn presence of a king who could control demons. If you're watching the VOD, drop an Eric hate comment in the comments. Oh my gosh, my reading is... I'm losing my fucking shit. Presence made Gap gulp. And she licked her lips before bowing respectfully to his back. I like hot guys, but I like monarchs even more. Your wish is my command, O Demon King. I want you to lay her body to rest in a place fitting for a woman who admired the head of the Ushiramiya family and who lived her life with the misguided dreams of that position. What if he just killed her? Did he just fucking kill her? Holy shit. He just fucking killed Ava, didn't he? A burial at sea. I want you to lay her body to rest in a place fitting for a woman who admired the head of the Ushiramiya family and who lived her life with the misguided dreams of that position. So in Kinzo's study. No. The VIP room will do fine. That never opened VIP room on the second floor of the mansion. Oh, that room. As you wish, Your Majesty. Gap approached Ava's corpse and lightly tapped the ground with her right heel. When she did, a large hole opened up and swallowed both Gap and the corpse and closed. After a while, a small hole opened in the air, and the staff Ava always carried, marked with the one-winged eagle that symbolized the Ushiramiya family's leader, was spat out into a puddle. Because the corpse would no longer have any use for it. George slowly approached that staff and stepped down hard on the tip. When he did, the staff spun violently into the air, and after passing by the blue moon that honored the Demon King... Blue moon? Oh wait, by the blue moon... Okay, I'm not fucking smoking crack, okay. It flew into George's outstretched hand. I needed glasses so bad. And reading is hard. That's like my fucking motto for this fucking whole ass fucking playthrough. Reading is hard. Please forgive my gifts and gaffes, for they are many. The instant he grasped it, another fierce lightning bolt landed nearby, and by the time the flash disappeared, the staff he had held became a spray of gold butterflies and vanished. It was as though George had crushed the staff out of existence. And that kind of like symbolizes like the world of humans prevailing over the world of magic in a way. And now I've finished my part. I'll let someone else have a turn. I can't believe you attacked your own mother. It's the person who loves you first in the world, and the last one to have you to separate yourself from. That's what it means to leave your home.
This is the courage I need to show to take Sayo as my wife.
He's such a fucking goober. Just a total fucking goober. I just can't take him seriously at all. He is a total chud. He'd be like posting on Twitter about his stupid ass fucking trad wife Sayo and how they like eat raw meat and fucking drink raw milk and shit. Fuck them.
Wow, look at my beautiful pregnant wife. Isn't she beautiful and pregnant? It's such a pregnant moment.
It's literally just that. This is so like in with my theory that the Ushiramiyas are Catholic, because George is like the super annoying chud trad cath son. Ava being a fake fitness influencer, that is a fucking pull. Yes. And Battler is Mr. Beast right now. George Sama. I can't believe I fucking said that. That's so awful. Ellipses. Bravo, Shiramiya George. An excellent start.
Even though it was just within the game, even though it was just a piece.
Beatrice the Elders is just like my little like sliver taste of what Beatrice used to be. Before Battler owned her too so hard it put her in a coma. I want Beato to come back too. I want her to be revived. Even though it was just within the game,
Even though it was just a piece. I didn't like having to kill my mother. However, that was the trial you set me, so I saw it through.
yeah, it's been so fucking long. He stared at the two demons. The demons looked at each other, then showed their surprise with their now familiar exaggerated gestures. Yeah, I think Battler brought Angie back on purpose, which is kind of sweet of him. I like to imagine maybe Featherine was like, be like a babysitter. I know she was actually with her grandparents at the time, but like, I don't know. Maybe if she ever had a caregiver at one point, like that was like Featherine, and that was just kind of like, oh yeah, that's where she is. Yeah, the love demons. I looked them up on Wikipedia. I read about them earlier. Also, one of them is a femboy. And I think it's Fur. Oh, you're right. They could be non-binary. But to be honest, I don't think a Japanese man in 2009 is aware of non-binary people. Or I guess this wasn't 2009. This might have been probably, I don't know when this game was like finishing. Yeah, that's fair. Or like they're both neo-genders or some shit. I don't know. One is actually just fair. And they're just not letting us know about their neo-pronouns. They always get fucking applaud, too. Wonderful. Wasn't that splendid, Zephyr? It was indeed, Furfur. George-kun's determination is the real deal. Oh, that's a... Oh, I should... Ooh, giving her a Chet You Betcha... Giving them both a Chet You Betcha voice is fucking it. I'm fucking doing that. I'll listen to their voices a little bit.
このバカがどうやら僕は君を見誤っていたようだね
Holy shit. That's so fucking good. I love that.
謝るよ許してほしい
That is so fun. I want to keep listening. I almost don't even want to read them. What does the other one sound like? George chose not to go along with this theatrical conversation. He just quietly looked down upon the game board. Found the piece representing his mother, which was right next to his. And tipped it over. Give me the other one, come on. This was the trial that Zepar and Furfur had set for him, so that the love of the pair will stand true. Offer up the life of one person by your own hands. Dun dun dun. It was similar to that trial during Beato's games, where they were given 3 options as part of a test to select the next family head. However, a pair of lovers will never abandon each other's lives. This is giving very the two who are together, those who remain will tear apart the who are together. Just saying. It's very giving. Okay. However, a new pair of lovers will never abandon each other's lives, so they were automatically left with the option of sacrificing the life of another instead. In fact, it was merciful that they only had to choose the life of one person other than themselves after all. And besides, it only meant taking those lives as pieces on the board. Also, I made some huge connection to rib theory earlier, where George was talking about like his early love of fantasy as a kid, because that was what his mother read him. That was such a like a rib theory confirming ass fucking moment for me. I felt so fucking proud. For the versions of themselves to whom the game board was the only world, this was a tragic parasite. Parasite, the murdering of your parent. But to those who stood around the game board in this witch's smoking room, it was nothing more than a movement of the pieces, representing George's will to overcome his parents. This, if you read back from a lot of my rib theory shit, this is it. Like, they're all imagining this shit. It was nothing more than a movement of the pieces representing George's will to overcome his parents. However, the fact remained that the demons had ordered them to take these lives, even if it was just within one of the endless fragment worlds. George appeared to have distanced himself from the events on the demon's game board, but Jessica still seemed to resist the idea of stealing another person's life, even if it was their only life as a piece on the game board. Oh. Come on, I just want to hear the other one.
おじけづいたか？
Oh, wait, she has that voice. Oh. I'm sorry. Have you been scared, Stiff? No. The Beatrice that Battler Sound desires would not be shaken by the likes of this.
Well then, who will undergo the next trial? Please choose your next victim. It doesn't matter who. Please name the next challenger. Any one of you may go. If no one speaks up,
That means I win, doesn't it?
yes, that's right. If so, congratulations, Ushiramiya George.
This is a good fucking voice I've landed on for these two. I'm very proud.
The key that leads to successful love between you and the one you cherish. We will now proudly
Hold it right there. As the demons delightedly named George as the victor, they were interrupted by the next challenger. Jessica's on. I'm up next. Okay, I'll do it. I'll show you that I'm serious about Canon-kun. Ooh, here we fucking go. I'm having so much fucking fun right now. It's so obvious. I just started really putting my whole fucking... I actually started putting effort into the read for like the first time in like 50 hours. That's fucking crazy. You can see how much my inflection fucking changed like right in the middle of that scene. I was just changing the... I don't really know how to even say what I did different, but I just read it differently. Very theatrical. Okay. As usual, this year's family conference was getting bogged down. Everyone had decided to cool their heads for a moment, and a short break had been agreed upon. The four siblings could say whatever they wanted. But Natsui and Kairi, for example, were outsiders and found it difficult to speak freely in this sort of atmosphere. What if there's more than one person who dies here? Who else is in here? Natsui, Kairi, probably Kraus, Rudolph. A conference where you aren't allowed to say what you want can be tiring even as you just sit there quietly. Even Kairi couldn't help letting out a deep sigh. This was the second floor hallway of the mansion. Rudolph had wanted to be alone during the break, so she had felt like doing the same. And had drifted up the stairs to reach this place. Kairi's expression was less tightly controlled than when her husband was around. She wore a tired look that she didn't often show. She pressed her cheek against the cool window glass. I need to regain my spirit and support my husband.
Even if I'm not allowed to speak, that's the duty I've won.
Who is it? Oh, I know what I'm doing different. I'm putting, like, I'm acting. That's funny. What the fuck? Okay. I am being theatrical with it. She suddenly sensed another person, turned around to look behind her, and saw Jessica standing at the other end of the hallway. Oh, it's you, Jessica-chan. Didn't you go to the guest house? Well, I sort of decided to head back to my room to get a book. I see. And you're on your way back to the guest house now? Uh, yes, that's right. I can't stand this rain. Is the wind really strong? It's weak right now, relatively speaking. As Kyrie looked out the window, Jessica watched her back, looking agitated. Aunt Kyrie, I'm sorry, but you've only got your bad luck to blame. Ah, Zephyr! Jessica's roulette of fate has chosen Kyrie! What will you do, Jessica? The roulette has chosen Kyrie, but you may reject that choice and spin the roulette again if you wish. It doesn't matter whose life is sacrificed for this trial. Jessica wasn't like George. George had willingly chosen Ava to be his sacrifice, to signify his separation from his old life so that he could step into a new life married to Shannon. However, Jessica hadn't thought of any particular target. So she had left it up to the roulette of fate. That was no exaggeration. She had walked around at random, imposing a rule on herself that the first person she met would be chosen as her sacrifice. And so, the roulette of fate had brought her to Kyrie. Of course, there was nothing forcing her to keep that rule. However, Jessica didn't want to break a rule she had once made. Even though she was participating in a demon's game, she still wanted to cling to this one last virtue. Right now, she could attack that unprotected back, but Jessica still wasn't able to fully resolve herself. What is it? Do you have something to say to me? Noticing the strange distance Jessica was standing at, Kyrie turned around. That unprotected back was already gone. Jessica realized that her hesitation had made her lose her own first chance. She had taken on this demon's game to prove her love for Canon. Love did them in, huh? Love did them all in. This is some Disco Elysium shit. But why are 18 people getting murdered? 18 or 19? Oh, is Battler 18 or 19? Oh gosh. She had taken on this demon's game to prove her love for Canon. However, would it really be okay to sell her soul to demons? For the sake of love? She had energetically consented to this demon's game, not wanting to let George, who had already taken an open-minded view of the situation, get any more of a lead on her, but her heart still wasn't ready. Maybe I shouldn't be asking you this, Aunt Kyrie. What is it? And notice how, like, she is gonna have some empathy for Jessica, because as we know, like, Kyrie and Rudolph are at one point like a hookup, like a extramarital affair. So she's kind of got that whole thing where she does see Jessica in this, where, or not where she sees Jessica, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that she kind of understands love that isn't socially acceptable. What is it? It's rare for you to ask me questions, Jessica Chan. I hope I'm capable of answering them for you. Actually, I have someone I like. Oh, really? That's wonderful. Then is it love you wanted to talk? Then it is love you wanted to talk about. I'm gonna go take a break. Give me like a minute or two.
Plastic bag.
They're fucking cookies!
Alright, I'm back. Let's fucking jump into this shit. Yeah, pretty much. Very well. I'll help out if I can. Thank you very much. Actually, is it still one-sided? I'm starting to wonder if Jessica isn't Beatrice. I don't know, it's really fucking with me. It's possible, but I just want to believe it's a 19th person Beatrice again. I just want that. I want that fucking innocence back in my soul. But it's fucking dead. It's just as fucking dead as Winchester Theory. I'm so fucking miffed. If I'm fucking right, and if Jessica is actually Beatrice, I'm losing my goddamn fucking shit. If I'm wrong, which I very most likely am, oh well. Is it still one-sided? No, I guess you could say it's just become mutual. But, well, there's this trial for us to be joined together. A trial? Now, what could that be? There's the two of us and another pair of lovers, and we have to fight each other. You mean the love triangle? I've never even considered a love triangle between Shannon, Battler, and Beatrice. Or Shannon, Battler, and Jessica. I've not considered any fucking idea of a love triangle. Huh, okay. Interesting. Or is it a square? Sounds complicated. And only the pair who wins can be together. It's something complicated like that. In other words, that sounds awful. A love where neither side can succeed unless they use the others as stepping stones. Yeah. If we're joined, then fall apart. And the same the other way around. I think I see where you're going with this. Something like this, right? How far is a person allowed to take advantage of others to find happiness, right? Yes, Kyrie was very smart. She had already guessed the question that Jessica had wanted to ask most. If you don't fight, it automatically becomes their victory, and you'll lose. However, if you fight and win, it means they'll fall apart. It's nasty either way. However, the answer is obvious. Yes. Kyrie giggled. If she wasn't willing to stick to her love until the end, then what? Then that would show the limits of their relationship. Love did them in, man. If that were the case, she should just let another pair of lovers win. However, if this love was a love she couldn't abandon, she couldn't abandon her chances at victory either. So, she had no other options than to fight. I know I fucking read that the reverse way, but fuck it, I don't care anymore. Sometimes this game just does not use word ordering that I would use. In the end, Jessica's hesitation was caused by guilt over forcing the others to split apart as the result of her inevitable decision. This is so fucking prophecy coded. I guess I really am just looking for an excuse. Yes, that's what you're doing. Still, it doesn't make it any easier to step over someone else for the sake of your own love. In that case, will you give up on your lover? I can tell you one thing for certain. Doing that will be even more painful. You'll be forced to crawl through hell the rest of your life. A hardness had entered Kyrie's gaze. Ooh, I just cracked all my fucking knuckles. Let's go. I was just 6, so I don't remember much about that time. However, I found Mom's notebook among her belongings after she died. Was it a diary? It was more a collection of her thoughts. It was much vaguer than a diary would have been. I found it and read it right after she passed away. But I needed to wait until I'd grown for several years before I could understand it. I see. So, did it speak of Kyrie's worries about her marriage? It was practically a book of curses. It cleared up several questions I vaguely felt about when I was 6. When I was 6, it seemed as though my parents were very close and had no problems. And though I thought it odd that Oni-chan lived separately, even though he was in our family, I accepted it as the way things were. Did you not know about Asumu? I think Oni-chan talked to me about her when no one was around, but it wasn't something a kid who wasn't even in elementary school could understand. After all, never even saw a picture of her. Mom had sent all the pictures with Asumu-san in them to Oni-chan. I really don't fucking like that. I really don't fucking like that detail. That freaking totally scares me. That totally fucking scares me. I'm fucking frightened. Mom had them all sent. Mom had sent all of the pictures with the Sumu-san in them to Oni-chan, leaving none behind in the house. To Angie and to Battler, who only rarely came home, Kairi's smile never faltered. If she hadn't written her thoughts in that notebook, Angie would probably never have known them. Since his school days, Rudolph had been particularly popular with girls, a typical playboy. Be bold, over the top, and just get a little, and still just a little bit gentle towards women. He probably kept that formula for being popular with women inside his head. In their attempts to win Rudolph's favor, several women tried various seductive tricks. Rudolph probably enjoyed that part the most. Since the beginning, love had been a game to Rudolph. He never thought of it as a trial and errors process to find a single life partner. He would intentionally spark jealousy between two women, lap up their compliments, and revel in the harem. He may be my father, but he was an awful man. But at the same time, Dad must have overlooked on those toadying girls. Mom, who was very aware of her self-worth and extremely intelligent, must have stood out. Though even that might have been due to Kairi's more skillful methods of catching Rudolph's gaze. Yeah, maybe. Mom was smart in a lot of ways. Like the other Ushiramiya siblings, Rudolph had strong ambitions and lofty goals. Under the mottos,
If you can pull it off, you're golden. And as long as no one finds out.
he would alternate between setting up businesses that were borderline swindles or illegal, then running away. I've heard that in his college years, he was already making use of that talent, picking up shameless projects and cleverly making money through the panic selling of party tickets. Ugh, what a douche. So much so that he could brag about carrying a wallet full of 110,000 yen notes all the time. Ugh. Many women fell for his charisma and being the man responsible for these radical projects, as well as a thick wallet and generosity. It would be a lie to say that Kairi wasn't one of them. However, what made Kairi very different from the other women was that she could support Rudolph as a business partner. Rudolph would make a large-scale party successful and able to hide his laughter at this massive, easy profit. the women would surround him. Among them, only Kyrie was calm and composed. She could point out several ways that income and expenditure could be improved upon, and could even lay out a proposal for the next project. So, Rudolph slowly began to accept her as a partner. Just like some people say men don't belong in the kitchen. There's also a sense that women should stay out of financial affairs. It's normal for men to foot the bill for women. And the details of how those 10,000 yen notes were scrounged up are vulgar, so they don't know, don't care. So you're saying that Kyrie viewed money from a man's perspective. Rudolph noticed a true treasure in this part of Kyrie. He knew exactly how much hard work it took to get just one of those 10,000 yen notes. So somewhere inside him, he looked down upon those extravagant women who had never even considered the efforts he had undertaken. Of all of them, only Kyrie possessed the same sharp financial intuition as Rudolph. Every time he thought of a new plan, he would talk to Kyrie about it, work out the kinks, and make it succeed. In this way, Kyrie steadily worked her way up until she was the number one of Rudolph's large group of followers. But Mom was still a woman. I doubt that she enjoyed seeing Dad pampered by all those other girls. So she would rather have been his only one instead of his number one. Yeah. Though she served as Dad's right hand, she slyly got rid of the other women in the shadows. It was only a matter of time before Mom would succeed in her love. Ooh, that's like the whole Kyrie's envy thing. Oh, that's so fucked. What if fucking Kyrie killed that baby? That fucking... No. And... Oh, what if there was like some mistake? Oh, what if fucking... Oh, shit. No, that's too fuck... I'm not pitting infanticide on Kyrie. That's fucked up. It was only a matter of time before Mom would succeed in her love. But now Yandere fucking Kyrie freaks me the fuck out. When did Asumu come into the picture? She was one of Rudolph's son's groupies. No, not even that. She was just one of his fans. Did you ever talk with her? Of course. I knew her well. Ever since the very beginning, before Rudolph-sen ever knew her name. I'm sure she was quite intelligent herself. And cunning. I tried to use my intelligence to stick out, but she did it in exactly the opposite way. By being stupid? I mean, she was good at triggering his protective instinct. Of all the girls who came to flatter and flirt with him, only she stood out with every action she made, unlike the flashy girls Rudolph-san had tired of. I'm really fucked up that we're getting more of Sumu lore right now, with Battler in charge of the fucking show. This is so fucking crazy. What does this fucking mean? This is going to my fucking notes. Kyrie still acknowledges the mistake she made in letting Asumu and Rudolph get too close. Kyrie had thought that taking the role of Rudolph's business partner meant that she would have him all to herself. That might have been due to her pride. And it might have been her arrogance as she tried to eliminate the relationships between all the other girls and Rudolph. Perhaps she sometimes tried too hard as a business partner, putting too much pressure on him regardless of the fact that it was justified. Bit by bit, Rudolph started to need a woman who could stay quiet and soothe him, without making him think about anything complicated. That woman was Asumu. I am ruthless and intellectual, rational and economical. In a plank of Carneades situation, I would push the other off without hesitation. What's a plank of Carneades? Plank of Carneades. The ethics plank of Carneades is a thought experiment first proposed by the academic skeptic philosopher Carneades of Cyrene. It explores the concept of self-defense in relation to murder. In the thought experiment, there are two shipwrecked sailors, A and B. They both see a plank that can only support one of them and both swim towards it. If sailor A gets to the plank first, B, who is going to drown, pushes A off and away from the plank and thus approximately causes A to drown. Sailor B gets onto the plank and is later saved by a rescue team. The thought experiment poses a question of whether Sailor B can be tried for murder, because if B had to kill A in order to live, then it would arguably be self-defense. Huh. What does that mean? I thought that was the kind of partner suitable for him. However, though that ruthlessness had made her reliable on the business side of things, it might have disturbed Rudolph deeply outside of business. At some point, though Rudolph still acknowledged Kyrie's skill, he began to yearn for a quiet, warm acceptance. Asumu had satisfied all of those conditions. She would never talk about anything complicated. Even if he did, she would just shake her head and say that she didn't know. However, she would care more for him physically than anyone else, quietly putting a blanket on him and staying by his side until morning. I need more water, I'll be right back. Back. Holy fucking need more water so bad. Yes, I did get the position of his business partner. But before I knew it, Rudolf-san had grown a need for a mental partner, someone who could heal his heart. Though I foolishly claimed to be the intellectual one, I never noticed. And then Uncle Rudolph married Onasumu? Yes, that's right. She stole him away by sleeping with him. He had slept with a lot of women, but by that point, he wasn't the kind of guy to let his emotions be captured by a woman just because he slept with her. After all, sleeping with women was just a game to him. That's why I used something other than my body to attract his attention. But I, as a woman. Before long, they were both pregnant. Yeah, I used something other than my body. Before long, they were both pregnant. What the fuck, Rudolph? What the fuck? Okay, my fucking headcanon is that she talked them into a threesome, and that's why they gave birth on the same fucking day. I don't fucking know. Fuck it. Hell yeah. Porn brain. Gooner Rudolph. Asuma-san told Dad about it right away, but Mom the opposite. So she was afraid that the pregnancy would threaten her position as his business partner. Apparently, Mom didn't eat much at the time, so her period was often irregular. Because of that, it took a really long time before she realized that she was pregnant. When did she notice? It was after Asuma-san suddenly moved into Dad's family register. Mom learned about her pregnancy after that and spotted several times that split Asuma-san and Dad apart, but even though Asuma-san always acted like such an airhead, once she got her hands on Rudolph-san, she didn't let go. Why should I care? Stay out of our way, she'd say. And this coming from that little girl who could curl up into a ball every time she got on a bus. At that point, I realized she had been the truly cunning one. Yes, even her fear of vehicles was another lie to catch Rudolph-san's sympathy. What? That's crazy. How does she know that? My apologies. I must be boring you. Oh, no. At the very least, I want to acknowledge the child I would give birth to. I wanted him to acknowledge the child I would give birth to. It seems as though Rudolph-san was prepared to do that. He made sure there was a hospital waiting for me, and even though Asuma-san was close giving birth herself, he gallantly came to see me. Even though she was already his wife. An awful man, really. Then why the fuck did you let him put a ring on it? After that, it's a tale I can't even bear to tell. Both Asumu and I had the same delivery date, and yet her pregnancy had met her marriage, where mine was completely meaningless. I swore to bring up my child well and have Rudolph-san acknowledge it. The fight between Asuma-san and me ended with my loss. However, I wasn't down for the count. If I could make my child excel far more than Asuma-san's, if I could make it fully acknowledged by Rudolph-san, I would be rewarded. That's what I believed. However, that child was a stillbirth. Oh, yeah. Sumu-san gave birth to Oni-chan, but Mom didn't give birth to anyone. Even Mom's final hope of being left a spot in Dad's second wife was destroyed. Second wife? Kairi had fallen from being his partner to being his second wife. And then, unable to give birth to the bond of a child, she tumbled down to being merely his mistress. I can't imagine how much she must have hated Asumu and that kid, Battler. But we know Battler isn't Asumu's son, so who the fuck is Battler? Who the fuck is Battler? I can't fucking think. Who the fuck is Battler? Battler was the fucking adopted child. Oh, yeah, okay. He has to be, right? He has to be the fucking Spartan babe. And despite that, Mom was able to act in a very friendly way towards Oni-chan. It was definitely a shock for me to think that my gentle mother had held such negative emotions for Oni-chan and had managed to hide them. She must have despised Battler. Probably. If Asumu-san had a stillbirth and Mom had given birth to Oni-chan, history might have changed in some way. Had that been the case, it seems she would have wanted to set up some scenario in which she'd make Dad divorce Asumu-san and marry her instead. Was that also written in that book where she kept her thoughts? Yeah. After all, that was just a random thought, not a delusion. Mom's resentment as she chewed on the corner of her tear-stained bed sheets. There's just one thing I regret. You mean the pregnancy? No. It's my arrogance I regret. I'll be right back. I'm sorry, I'm drinking so much fucking water. I'm so well hydrated right now, it is fucking up my bladder. feel like 25% of my internet feed for the past, like, 4 weeks has just been AI images of Charlie Kirk. So bizarre. Insanely funny at this point. No, it's my arrogance I regret. Rudolph-san is mine now, so I'm completely safe. I'll never lose to that Asumu kid. When she was busy screaming her head off on buses and planes, I was capable of property managing these arrangements and the expenditures for them. And so I was overly confident that I was the one Rudolph-san trusted the most. They say love needs to be nurtured, right? Yeah. That's not wrong. The two of you need to water it, care for it, nurture it, sure. And in the end, it will finally bear the fruit called love. Did you know? Love doesn't end when it bears fruit. If you don't harvest it as well, the romance you started with will never amount to anything. Harvest it? You need to think about that yourself, Jessica-chan. If you make it bear fruit without harvesting it, it can sometimes grow rotten. And bugs will often gather around it. In fact, sometimes thieves will come by and pluck it off the branch. Young kids like you, Jessica-chan, think that love ends with nurturing. That is naive. If you don't harvest it, you will never be rewarded for your love. Harvest love. At a glance, it may seem to be a matter of just between a pair of lovers, but that isn't true. Putting off the harvest because you assume you can do it at any time just gives thieves a chance. What if that fruit you worked so hard to nurture gets pulled off the branch the next morning? You'll regret that you didn't choose to harvest it the previous day instead of complaining. That regret really hurts. It'll make you crawl through hell. Ellipses. I'm lucky. My hell ended after 18 years. Oh shit, what if Battler is Kyrie's son? So I'll never misjudge myself again. That person is mine. Oh shit, that person is mine. Not Rudolph is mine. That person is mine. That fruit. I won't let him get away. I will let him get out of my sight. And I'm grateful to my master for giving me that chance. Kyrie Beatrice. What the fuck? My certain willpower in not giving up on that man no matter what was answered with a miracle. What is... Did she murder Asumu and take her baby? Or take it... I don't fucking know. How the fuck did Asumu die? I forget how they. I think they. Did they ever say it? I feel like there's so many fucking moving parts and pieces in this whole fucking mystery. By now, Jessica was speechless and didn't even urge Kyrie to continue. This true form of love that Kyrie was telling her about was far, far more harsh than anything she had imagined. Right now, I would do anything to keep Rudolph-san by my side. And I will show no mercy against his enemies. And if he wished it, I might not even hesitate at murder. What the fuck? What if fucking Beatrice is actually the fucking Cliff baby and Battler is actually Kyrie's son, and the reason why... Oh, what the fuck? And the reason why these murders are happening is to ensure Battler becomes the Yoshiramiya family head? I don't know. Okay, Kyrie. Thank you for adding something to my notes. And because I finally resolved myself to doing that on the 18th year. What the fuck? That certain willpower brought about a miracle to me. You know, miracles only appear for those who can bring them to completion themselves. What the fuck is going on? Asumu's death had not been a murder of any sort. However, Kyrie had constantly cursed her and hoped for her death. And finally, on the 18th year, she had built up the determination to kill her with her own hands. I'm really confused about this. How long have Asumu and Rudolph been, or how long were they together? Like, are we factoring that in, and like... And what's this all about? I'm really fucking confused right now. That was when the miracle had occurred. Is she confessing? Aunt Asumu passing away was a miracle. Wrong. That wasn't even close to a miracle. After all, if she hadn't died, I would have killed her. In other words, she was fated to die no matter what. The miracle is that even though she did die, I didn't have to get my hands dirty. That's all. Until now, Kyrie had never shown Jessica. No, she had never even shown Rudolph that glint in the depths of her eyes. I'm fucking terrified of Kyrie right now. What the fuck? Why is Battler showing this to me? Why am I fucking terrified? It told plainly and clearly that romance and love are not the sweet and fluffy candies that young girls imagine them to be. Jessica was overwhelmed by that pressure and stunned silent. And she had to acknowledge it. This was the power of will that could make love be realized. With the force of this willpower, Kyrie had supported Rudolph as a wife. And it was the same as George's. He had already developed and proven that he had the willpower to oppose all obstacles to love between different classes. Right now, Jessica could clearly understand. This was the magnitude of George's determination, which had allowed him to coldly carry out his part of the trial. Then, what about her? Did she really have the resolve to make her love with Cannon bear fruit? And harvest that fruit? Alright, that's where we're ending for today. That feels like a really good place to stop. I have some really good questions I have to kind of think about. And I'm gonna have to see if I can find some answers. But this has been an incredibly fun stream. I have missed streaming so much. And I think having that break kind of helped me kind of get back into the swing of things a bit. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a nice day.